I'm going to be giving a demo on what I've been doing utilizing Koala with AUM. I've been using a MIDI application called Physical. There's a physical gravity and a physical box. I'll be showing physical gravity to kind of wet whistle on what some of its capabilities are. So I just want to apologize that because physical only fits in my phone's screen horizontally, I have to do the demo horizontally, which is appropriate for YouTube videos anyway. But you'll notice when we're in AUM, the orientation is going to be wrong. But since we're not doing a lot of work in AUM, I think that's probably okay for the demo. So here we are in Koala. I found a sound pack online. I used the brand new Samurai mode to auto chop it, which made it really short work of taking all of these separate sounds and putting them to different pads. And so here, if you notice, just got a bunch of drum sounds. So we'll be utilizing this as our sound material for the work we do in the other program. So I'm now going to switch to go over to AUM. And so from here, you can sort of see that we're running Koala. There's a delay, although at the moment the delay is not attached. So it won't be affecting the sound. And then I've got our physical MIDI. And so for this, you can see it's currently ejected, so we can't hear it as well. But to get that loaded, all I did was go to audio, hit the plus sign, click on audio unit extension, and there you can see it's physical bouncy and physical gravity. So that's what we did. I don't actually need this channel, so I'm going to delete it since I already have it configured. You definitely have to route the MIDI, which I'm not that good at, and it definitely takes me a little time to figure out. But you can sort of see here, I've got the physical gravity that's routing down into Koala Sampler and also to the MIDI control, because you'll see we're going to be utilizing the MIDI control. So once that's set up, this is what it currently is configured to play. So that's all being triggered. This makes MIDI signals, and then it's routing over to Koala. And so you can see Koala is now making sounds. And if we were to go back to Koala, you can see it's hitting this one pad over and over in a rhythmic sort of way. But my hand isn't doing that. The MIDI app is doing that. So if we go back to AUM and I go to the MIDI, if we go to physical, you can see that we're running this channel 3 or this program 3, and as the ball hits this as the balls come out of the cup, they hit this line, this segment, and right now the segment is set to play the second octave C. And so if we were to tell it to play a different note, it would then play a different pad. So if I was to go back to Koala, you can see it's now hitting the next pad. And we could sort of do that over and over again. We could just choose which pad we want to trigger, which is pretty cool in itself. But this program actually lets you do a lot of manipulation. So it sort of does its own little gravity world here. So I drew this line in here. I can double tap it, and whoops. I can double tap it to delete it, or I could draw another line. And right now it's playing C4, which I don't have a note on C4. So if I change it back to second octave C, all of a sudden it's hitting. And right now it's hitting and it's bouncing off, and that's it. So if I was to rotate it and stop it, I can change the direction of it. Now all of a sudden it's going to hit, and every time it hits, it's going to make a different sound. And we can actually control how often the balls come out. Right now it comes out every 2 beats, it drops 1 ball. I can make it come out more often. Every single beat, boom, 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 it drops out 1 more ball. So you can kind of control how often the balls come out. And the other thing is the time to live. So it's going to hit 12 times, it'll make a sound. So if I was to make the ball come out more often, every time it hits, it would hit 12 times. So it's hard to make it hit this board 12 times, as you can see. So why have the number so high? The reason why is because you can make multiple lines. So what if I was to make the first one be C2, and then maybe make it rotate a little. Now when it hits the other board, you can tell that to play a different sound. Okay, and this sounds very cacophonous, so you could easily make less balls come out. But now you can start to see that the more lines I was to put in, I can put in 8 lines. All of a sudden the 12 times live is a pretty long time. It's like a lot of beats it's adding. I dropped it down to 5, but right off the bat we're starting to hear like that's kind of close to music. I mean, it's definitely rhythmic, and you have ultimate control over what sound it makes, and you can start adding more segments. So every once in a while, maybe that's just a little bit too long. What if we were to there you go. So this one we can make also C2. Do a different. So this is pretty useful. So I could fully go in and try to explain this physical gravity, and maybe give a better, longer demo. But I kind of configured one here I thought was kind of interesting. And I guess I just wanted to show that you can copy these and go to another slot and paste them in. And I did that. I pasted into 4 and I pasted into 5. They're all the same. They all sound the same. But what if you were to change 5 to be a different sound? So we'll change the rate in which it drops. So once you've changed it a little bit, you can actually use the keyboard, the built-in keyboard, and then switch between these different programs. So I can switch between 4 and 5. Doesn't sound amazing, but you can sort of get the sense, if you had 2 that sounded really good, maybe just change the instruments on 1 or 2. That probably would be, pretty useful. So I think that is a pretty good demo of hopefully opens your eyes to what Physical can do. The only last thing I wanted to show was that you could sort of use Physical to send MIDI information to other apps. So for instance, here I have this delay, and this can be hard to show, I think, sideways, but I can try. So here, you can definitely hear the delay is affecting it. This is a very extreme setting. But what if I was to tell it that I want, and I just changed the feedback in the dry, right? Dry wet. So what if I was to go in and go to tell it that I want feedback to learn button, it sees it on channel 1, note 47, it sends up an on-off, because right now the balls they either hit the line or they don't hit the line. And so if they hit the line, that'll toggle the feedback on and off. So if I click on the range, I can actually specify, the range I want it to apply and how much to change the knob. And so here you can see, look, the feedback is like switching between 40 and 70, and I can like control that. So if I want it to be maybe less extreme, I could go in and I could say, change the range to be closer to each other, and all of a sudden that'll be a much smaller amount. It sounds quite a bit better. And I can do the same thing like for the dry wet. So if I come down here to the wet level, I already set this up, but I can click learn, and now note 37 is going to affect it. And so I can change the range here to be, whatever I want. So here you can see now the dry wet is moving. So you can really get the sense that like this MIDI information, you can have it change and control your settings. Physical is free, which is part of the beauty of it, but you could, buy a MIDI app like, I think Rosetta Sequence. The whole Rosetta suite is really interesting. You can do like, instead of it just being on-off, you can use like an LFO wave, and to me that like seems really exciting, because then you could have these buttons have more graceful changes. And so I think that's it for this demo. Hopefully that gives you a sense of how I'm using MIDI and how I'm using AM to actually trigger some of Koala. And so I'm just going to go back to Koala and we'll take a look at what it's doing. You can see it's really hitting a lot of different pads. And I could have set up more complex environments in Physical, and it would be making this hit even more pads.